When she realizes you're no longer interested, Stoic think. There is a moment in every dynamic when the energy shifts. It is quiet, it is subtle, but it is powerful. The moment she realizes you are no longer chasing, no longer over-explaining, no longer trying to prove your value. That moment changes everything, because attention is currency. And when you withdraw it, the balance shifts. This is not about revenge. It is about self-respect. Stoic wisdom teaches us that the strongest position is emotional independence. When you stop seeking validation, you become unforgettable. At first, she may not notice. You are no longer texting first. You are no longer waiting anxiously for replies. You are no longer rearranging your schedule just to fit into hers. You are focused on your purpose, your growth, your peace. And in that silence, something begins to stir. Because when you stop reacting, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability creates curiosity. Most men lose power because they overextend. They give too much too soon. They make someone the center of their world before that person has earned the position. But a Stoic man understands restraint. He understands that his time is sacred. His energy is valuable. His presence is not guaranteed. When you begin to live this way, she feels the difference even before she understands it. She may start to test the waters. A random message, a casual, "How have you been?" A subtle reminder of a shared memory. It is not accidental. It is awareness. She senses the distance. She senses the shift. And the human mind is wired to want what it feels slipping away. The more grounded you are, the more magnetic you become. But here is the truth. You did not pull away to make her chase. You pulled away because you chose yourself. That is the real power. Stoicism is not manipulation. It is mastery. Mastery over emotions. Mastery over impulses. Mastery over the need to be chosen. When you stop needing her approval, you step into authority. Sometimes she will respond with confusion. She might ask if something is wrong. She might act colder to protect her ego, or she might suddenly show interest that was once missing. The key is this: do not react emotionally. Observe. Marcus Aurelius taught that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Stay centered. Let actions reveal intentions. When a woman realizes you are no longer invested the same way, it forces reflection. She begins to question her own behavior. Was she too distant, too dismissive, too comfortable? Your absence creates clarity, not because you demanded it but because you embodied self-worth. Many men think strength is loud. But real strength is silent. It is the calm confidence of knowing you will be fine with or without someone. It is the discipline to walk away from inconsistent energy. It is the courage to accept that not everyone will see your value. And that is okay. If she comes back with genuine effort, consistency, and respect, then you respond from a place of balance. Not excitement, not desperation, balance. But if she returns only because her ego was triggered, you will sense it. Stoic awareness sharpens perception. You no longer fall for surface gestures. You look for alignment. There is something deeply attractive about a man who does not chase attention. A man who wakes up with purpose. A man who invests in his body, his mind, his mission. When your life is full, you are not searching for someone to complete you. You are choosing someone to complement you. That energy changes everything. Understand this clearly. The goal is not to make her regret losing you. The goal is to become the man who never loses himself. Because once you lose yourself, you will always chase external validation. But when you find yourself, when you root yourself in discipline and self-control, your presence alone speaks volumes. She realizes you are no longer interested when you stop explaining your worth. When you stop arguing for attention. When you stop overcompensating. And in that realization, she feels the weight of what she might be losing. Not because you begged her to see it, but because you stopped trying. This is the Stoic way. Detach from outcomes. Focus on character. Focus on growth. Focus on becoming so aligned with your values that whether someone stays or leaves does not shake your foundation. That stability is rare, and rarity is powerful. If this message resonates with you, if you are committed to becoming stronger, calmer, and more self-disciplined, then subscribe to Stoic Think. Join a community of men who are choosing mastery over emotion and purpose over distraction. Your transformation starts with one decision. Remember this. The moment she realizes you are no longer interested is not the victory. The real victory is the moment you realize you never needed to chase in the first place. When she realizes you are no longer interested, the silence becomes louder than words. She begins to replay conversations in her mind. She notices how available you once were. How consistent you used to be, and now, there is space where your attention once lived. Space creates awareness, and awareness creates value. You are not ignoring her out of spite. You are simply no longer overextending yourself. You respond when it is convenient, not when it is desperate. You invest where there is reciprocity, not where there is confusion. This calm detachment unsettles anyone who was used to effortless access to you. There was a time when you waited for her messages. You checked your phone too often. You adjusted your tone to keep her comfortable. But growth changes behavior. Now, your focus is your mission, your discipline, your progress. You train your body. You sharpen your mind. You protect your peace. And she feels that shift even if she cannot articulate it. Human nature is simple. We often overlook what feels guaranteed. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus taught that attachment to external things leads to suffering. When you detach, you reclaim control. And control is attractive. Not because it manipulates, but because it signals stability. She may try to regain the old dynamic. More frequent messages, sudden compliments, subtle jealousy tactics. Perhaps she mentions other admirers to see if you react. But this time, you do not because you do not care, but because you refuse to compete for attention that should be freely given. Your composure becomes your strength. You listen more than you speak. You observe patterns instead of promises. You respond with clarity instead of emotion. That calm energy forces her to confront something uncomfortable. She no longer dictates the emotional tempo. You do. There is power in being okay with losing someone who is unsure about you. Many men stay stuck because they fear the void. They fear being alone. But solitude builds clarity. It teaches you who you are without external validation. And once you become comfortable alone, your standards rise naturally. When she senses that you are genuinely at peace without her, something changes internally. Attraction grows in the presence of mystery and self-control. The less reactive you are, the more she questions what she might have underestimated. Confidence without arrogance is rare. And rare things are valued. But remember, the Stoic path is not about winning someone back. It is about winning yourself back. It is about emotional discipline. You do not punish. You do not beg. You do not chase. You align your actions with your values and let reality unfold. If she returns with maturity, effort, and consistency, you evaluate with logic, not fantasy. If she does not, you continue forward without bitterness. Because your growth was never dependent on her decision. Your worth was never tied to her recognition. This mindset transforms relationships. You stop seeing love as something to secure. You start seeing it as something to share from a place of strength. You become selective, not because you are cold, but because you respect your time and energy. And here is the truth most men ignore. When you truly detach, you glow differently. You smile without forcing it, you move without seeking approval. Your conversations become lighter because you are not trying to impress. You are simply being. That authenticity is magnetic. Whether she comes back or not becomes secondary. What matters is that you have stepped into emotional independence. That is the real victory. If you are committed to this journey of discipline, self-respect, and mental strength, subscribe to Stoic Think. Join men who are choosing growth over desperation and clarity over confusion. Every lesson here is designed to sharpen your mindset and elevate your standards. When she realizes you are no longer interested, it is not about her loss. It is about your evolution. And once you evolve, you never return to the version of yourself that begged to be chosen.